Okay, let's unpack this. This week, the Nobel Prize in Physics went to the pioneers of superconducting qubits. A huge moment, right? Really sent a shockwave.
Absolutely. Massive validation for the whole technology path. But, you know, beyond the headlines, there's a really fascinating connection here that the market might be overlooking.
Oh, what's that?
Well, it's the story of a mentor and his star student, you could say. One of the laureates, Michel Devoret.
Yeah, key figure?
Right. His direct protege was Chad Rigetti, the founder of Rigetti Computing, which is publicly traded, commercializing the exact tech that just won the Nobel.
Wow, okay. So a direct academic lineage, a Nobel lineage, right there in the public market with RGTI. The question is, does this actually give them an edge? Like a real narrative alpha against the giants, Google, IBM. That's what we're diving into today.
It definitely gives them a powerful story. I mean, you can frame Rigetti now as maybe the most authentic inheritor of this Nobel legacy, at least among the public companies. The founder literally learned from the master.
Makes sense. But it's not just the story, is it? The prize itself kind of validates their core tech strategy, too.
That's right, their multi-chip architecture, the chiplet approach.
Okay, explain that a bit. Why is that so important in quantum?
Well, it's all about scaling. Building one giant perfect quantum chip is incredibly hard. The manufacturing yields are terrible, especially with the cooling needed. Rigetti's idea is different.
Tiling smaller chips together.
Exactly, using these smaller high-performance chiplets. It's a modular approach.
Ah, okay, here's where it gets really interesting. That sounds familiar, like a classic tech playbook.
You got it. Think about how AMD took on Intel and CPUs. They pioneered chiplets to get around manufacturing challenges and scale up faster. Rigetti is essentially making that same kind of bet.
A bet that can back up, financially speaking.
Seems so. They've got, what, $571.6 million in cash? And crucially, zero debt. That gives them a pretty long runway, several years probably, to push their R&D.
Which they'll need for that roadmap, like hitting 100-plus qubits by end of 2025, right?
Right. That runway is key for executing on those capital-intensive plans.
Okay, strong foundation then. Story, validated tech, cash. But let's bring in the tension. This Nobel, it's great for Rigetti, but doesn't it validate everyone playing in this superconducting sandbox?
Precisely. That's the irony. It absolutely validates competitors too. And we're talking Google, IBM, behemoths with enormous resources.
And they even employ some of the key people, right?
Yeah, some laureates or people closely associated, like Devoret himself, Martinis.
Yeah.
They've been linked with Google or IBM. So the report actually warns this prize could increase the competitive heat on Rigetti.
Okay, so that's risk one, the giants. What else?
Risk two is the execution gap. Look, a Nobel for the science is fantastic, but it doesn't automatically mean commercial success is guaranteed.
Right, science is one thing, building a business is another.
Exactly. Scaling that chiplet architecture, achieving fault tolerance, getting the error correction right, these are still enormous technical hurdles. Very expensive hurdles, too.
So now that this prize has happened, what does history tell us? Can we look back at similar events and see what might come next for a stock like Rigetti?
Well, yeah, the report lays out two interesting historical case studies, kind of a blueprint.
Okay, lay them out first.
First, the bullish case, CRISPR. Remember the 2020 Nobel for gene editing?
Oh, yeah. Huge reaction.
Massive. Companies like CRISPR Therapeutics, Editas Medicine, their stocks soared. We're talking gains over 120%, even up to 220% plus in the months after. That's the positive blueprint.
Okay, so that's the dream scenario. What's the flip side?
The cautionary tale is graphene back in 2010. Another Nobel, huge initial hype, but then kind of fizzled commercially.
Why?
Issues with scaling, cost.
Yeah.
It just didn't translate into widespread, profitable applications quickly. The science was cool, the business case lagged for a long time.
So why would quantum computing be more like CRISPR than graphene?
That's the key insight from the report. Quantum computing, like CRISPR, is seen as a high-value platform technology. It's about solving fundamental problems like computational diseases, you could say. Graphene was more of a material. Lower margins, different market dynamics.
Right, platform tech versus material, that makes sense. So the thinking is, quantum's potential impact is more comparable to gene editing.
Exactly. Which suggests the market reaction for something like Rigetti is perhaps more likely to follow that aggressive, bullish CRISPR path over the long term. assuming they execute, of course.
So what does this all mean for someone listening, thinking about this space? It sounds like Rigetti is almost a venture capital style bet within the brick markets now. High risk, potentially high reward, but supercharged by this huge validation.
That's a good way to put it. And because of that, simple buy or sell calls aren't really the sophisticated approach here. The report suggests using a monitoring dashboard.
A dashboard. Okay, what's on it?
3 key things you absolutely have to watch. First, are they hitting their technical roadmap milestones? Those 100-plus Qubits systems, improvements in fidelity, are they delivering?
Makes sense.
Second, winning new commercial contracts. Are they landing deals, government contracts, enterprise partnerships? That proves real-world traction.
Okay. And third?
Manage that cash burn. They have a good runway now, but they need to keep it that way. Keep an eye on how fast they're spending relative to their progress.
Got it. Roadmap, contracts, cash. So the final takeaway seems pretty clear. You've got this incredibly powerful story, this Nobel validation.
Right, a compelling narrative.
Butting up against huge execution risks and, frankly, ferocious competition.
Immense challenges.
So the question for you, the listener, is which force wins out over the next, say, 4 years? The story or the struggle? Track those dashboard metrics yourself. That's how you'll see this playing out.